Hey y'all, Kitchen Trap Queen here with peach cobbler cinnamon rolls. Yes, peach cobbler and cinnamon rolls in one. If you're interested in learning how to make this recipe from scratch, stay tuned. So first we're going to start off with our dough. What I have here is some milk that has been warmed. You don't want your milk too hot or you'll kill your yeast, and you don't want it too cold or it won't be activated. So you want your milk about the temperature of a baby's bottle, and you're going to add in some active dry yeast and some sugar, and you're going to let it proof in a microwave that is not on for about 5 minutes. And then now I'm just going to take my mixer with the dough attachment attached, and I'm going to add in 2 eggs. I've decided to slow down my videos because somebody said that they were going too fast. So we're slowing it down for the lovers out there. I'm adding in some melted butter that has been cooled slightly, some sugar, and some salt, and we're just going to mix those ingredients. After about 5 minutes, your yeast should look like this. It should be frothy. If it doesn't look like this after 5 minutes, you either killed your yeast or your milk is not warm enough. But you want your yeast to look like this so that you know it's ready to go and that it's activated. And you're just going to add that into your mixer. Now I'm just going to start adding in my flour. I'm adding in about 4 cups of flour, and I'm just doing it 1 cup at a time. And if you don't have a stand mixer like me, you can use a hand mixer, but you might have to just take it off once the dough starts to form, because you don't want to ruin your mixer, because it will start to form a dough, as you can see here. And then once my dough starts to form, I am going to take it off the hook and I'm going to add it to a floured surface. Your dough will be sticky, and that's what we want. We want a sticky dough. When you do add it to your floured surface and start kneading it, it will become less sticky. Now to my clean counter, I'm just gonna sprinkle on some flour, and we're gonna knead this dough. Oh, and another trick to get your dough out of the bowl, just take a spatula, because like I said, I know it is sticky, so use a spatula to get it out. And then this is my favorite part. I be feeling like a real baker and stuff when I start kneading the dough. I don't know, I like this part. But you're just gonna knead the dough and work the flour from the counter into the dough so that it can become less sticky. I got excited because I like this part. Sorry. And don't worry, my passion twist did not get into the dough. If you can see, this little passion twist that I keep seeing popping up is irking my nerves. But anywho, your dough should look like this after it has been kneaded for a couple of minutes. And now we're going to take a greased bowl and we're going to add our dough ball to this, and we're going to let it proof or double in size in a warm spot in your kitchen. I decided just to put this back into the microwave, not on, just off, so that it can double in size. Now we're going to start working on our filling. This is some brown sugar, some softened butter, some cinnamon, and I did add in a little bit of nutmeg, and we're just going to mix it until it forms a wet sand-like texture. After about an hour, your dough should have doubled in size, and what you'll see me doing here is just punching all that air out, which is actually carbon dioxide. Let me put my science teacher hat on real quick. So basically, yeast are microorganisms, and they feed on sugars, and they'll use that sugar as an energy source, and they will release carbon dioxide as a product. See, y'all learned something today. But basically, you're just gonna take that dough out and you're gonna place it on a floured surface again, and you're gonna roll it out into about the size of a 9 by 13 inch pan. And y'all might notice that I'm rolling this all wrong, y'all. My nails were too long and they kept puncturing the dough. So you'll see me rolling it like yeah, it was a disaster, y'all. I ran into 2 disasters, but you'll see what the other disaster was. Just keep watching. All right, so after you have your dough all rolled out, we're gonna add on our filling. Now this part is gonna take you some time and some patience, because it's going to be a little hard spreading out this filling, because the dough is so soft and the filling is so rough. So y'all, take your time on this step. Yes, I know it's gonna take forever, but it'll work. Trust me. Just keep going. Make sure you don't press down too hard when you are doing this step, because you don't want to puncture your dough as well. So now I'm just going to add on my peach pie filling. I decided to go with 1 can. And this 1 can, y'all, this can literally had like 13 peaches in there. Y'all, look at this mess. So I should have used 2 cans. I only bought 1. But I would really recommend that you just use 1 can of pie filling and then 1 drain can of sliced peaches. If you are one of those people that like a lot of peaches, look at me trying to dig in there for some more peaches and all that. Girl, ain't nothing in that can. Y'all, it's like literally like 18 peaches. So if you want more peaches, just add on a drain can of sliced peaches. Now, if you're like me, I was okay with it. I don't really like a lot of peaches in my peach cobbler. I really don't like peach cobbler. I just like the crust. Anybody else like the crust on peach cobbler? Just me? Okay, no. But yeah, that was a disaster. So I didn't have a lot of peaches. And then what I'm doing here is I'm just sprinkling on some sugar, and I did add on some cinnamon as well. So y'all, don't do like me. If you are gonna do this recipe, just get 1 can of peach filling and another can of peaches, and then you're just going to roll your cinnamon rolls up. You want to kind of tuck and roll, but you don't want to roll it too tight so that your peaches aren't being rolled up. It's a process, y'all. And then while I was rolling this dough up, I came into another disaster. So not only did I not have enough peaches, y'all, I rolled my dough too thin. As you can see, I can see the filling through the dough, and look what I did with my nail. So this was a disaster kind of, but it came out good. So next, look at me. So next time I will make sure that I don't roll my dough so thin. I would recommend that you not roll your dough so thin, because cutting it was horrible as well. I was basically just winging this recipe, guys. Look at my little cinnamon rolls. They were not holding their shape at all, but they were good. I love making cinnamon rolls, even though they take about 3 hours to make, because you have to allow the dough to rise at least 3 times. So I'm just taking those cinnamon rolls and I'm going to add them to a buttered dish, and we're going to let them rise again for about an hour. All right, now to our crumble. This is optional. I wasn't even sure if I was gonna do this or not, but what I have in this bowl is some flour, some softened butter, some sugar, brown sugar, I'm sorry, some cinnamon, and a little bit of salt. And we're gonna make a crumble to go on top of these cinnamon rolls. So the Southern cook in me told me to put that fork down and get my hands in there, y'all. I'm sorry, I have to use my hands for this part. And then it didn't come out the way I wanted it to with the measurements that I got from the recipe. So I did end up adding a little bit more flour because they weren't crumbling like they were supposed to. You'll probably see in the video. See, it was too wet. So I did add on a little bit of flour, and I let it sit in the fridge for about 10 minutes to cool a little bit. So as you can see, I'm trying to, y'all, it was, yeah, I had the hardest time trying to get this crumble the way I wanted it to. But once again, it came out good. It's a testimony, and it's a testimony somewhere in this recipe. The devil thought he had me 3 times, but what? Hey. So now we're gonna allow these to bake for about 30 minutes. And I apologize, y'all, I did not film myself making this cream cheese glaze, but I will try to find a recipe for y'all. It's basically just cream cheese, softened butter, some powdered sugar, a little bit of salt, and some vanilla. I apologize, y'all, I'm sorry. And then after 30 minutes, y'all, look at that. Ooh, man, these things were so good. Had my house smelling so good. And then now, of course, you're gonna take that cream cheese glaze, which I so apologize I did not record this for y'all, and you're gonna just glaze. And y'all, ooh, a moment of silence. Y'all still eating it with your eyes? Okay. All right, so as you can see, I'm gonna take a piece out, and I just want y'all to look at that caramel that it made at the bottom. Oh my god, that brown sugar with the butter and the peaches, man. Y'all please try this dang on recipe. It is worth it. It's worth the 5 hours it took for me to get in there. And this is a close-up of that with the one peach. Y'all see that one peach in this whole cinnamon roll? Y'all make sure you add more peaches to this recipe, because this is so sad, but it was good though. And if you see that one in the background, that one I added more of that crumble on top. So it's up to you if you want to use the crumble or if you, yeah. But this is just the second one that I made, and y'all, that was it. Peach cobbler cinnamon rolls. I did that. I gotta admit, I did that, y'all. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I will see y'all in the next video.